he probably saw some of that stuff because Letterman was playing with the format of a talk show, at least earlier on.
Right.
Was playing with the format, which was just at least it was interesting. It was so interesting.
Yeah.
As a kid watching it, it was different enough. But all these talk shows now is just. So tell us about it. So we're gonna, it's all about a clip and
yeah.
I don't know.
People know where it's going.
Well, Johnny Carson used to have on. Did you ever see the Don Rickles when he guest hosted?
No.
Okay, so he guest hosted the Johnny Carson show. So he's doing this crowd work thing, and you can get this on YouTube. And there was this woman in the audience, this black woman in the audience. He asked her to stand up and. He's interviewing her, and, during the interview, she thought the interview was kind of over. And she just sits down, right? Now, this is in the 70s. She sits down. He turns to the audience and said, ever since they saw Roots, they think they could do anything.
Oh, my God.
The entire audience dies laughing.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and
Holy Jesus.
It's like... Wow, could you imagine? Well, he could probably he does that still today, but
yeah,
isn't it just like crazy?
That is huge, huge crazy.
Really, really, really different,
The dismissive they.
Yeah, but he owns it. He shits on everybody.
Well,
so it
reminds me of Kindler shitting on you a little bit. It's a more extreme version.
Yeah, he's doing races of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I have to say, Well, racism to me is so utterly dumb, thus funny to me.
Yeah.
It also depends who's saying it.
Of course. Well, when you were talking about the door being open, the Aristocrats joke?
Yes, can you hold that? Let me turn my sprinkler off.
Oh, please.
Turning the sprinkler off.
Huh?
The Aristocrats.
Yeah, the Aristocrats joke. So you're supposed to tell a joke that's so gross. I know you know this.
I know, but I do, but I didn't see the movie.
It's just a bunch of people being like, and then you diarrhea on the table, and then you fuck the daughter, and you come on her face, and then you go, we're the Aristocrats.
Right.
It doesn't work for our generation, I feel like. And I know we're in slightly different classes, but I feel like our group, if we were to tell that joke, the only way to do it is to be racist. The point of the joke is to shock.
Oh, right.
You're supposed to be offensive. I just said without batting an eye, I'm somewhat, not really, but I used to be conservative. Come on, face, diarrhea, boil, sucking, fucking. If you say a slur that I don't even want to say here, suddenly people would be, at least interested. When you were talking about the door being open when comedians talk and stuff, I feel like those faux pas, tragedies, racism, sexuality, all that sort of stuff, those are the things that people are going to maybe more, because I think it might be understood that it's not sincere. Nobody has hate.
That's right.
There's
it's
no hate
done for the sake
heart.
of the joke. It's not done. It doesn't mean it's done to try to make other comics laugh. It's not done because it's taboo.
Right.
And I think a layperson that's not in that world kind of could get turned off by that.
Sure.
You know when you mingle your comedian friends with your other friends that might be a school teacher or something.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't go well.
Yeah.
It's like he's
right.
My comedian friends.
Well, you had that story with Chris Rock. You texted Louis, right? Mm-hmm. Can we?
No, I'd have to get some. I'd have to. Yeah, it's gonna.
Let's stay out of
it's
this
gonna open
area.
up something.
Let's stay that.
I love it, and I don't mind telling it live.
Right.
But if people hear me,
let's just put it this way: everyone enjoyed it.
Everybody.
Chris Rock
I said a very racist thing to Chris Rock once.
Who liked it? And
that's how we met. Well, because it was two comics communicating.
And he would be insulted if you thought of that joke and didn't say that joke. You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
And actually the brashness of just meeting and opening with something racist, it's like a sign of respect.
Yeah.
Especially to Chris Rock.
I was at this bar in my hometown once.
Nobody take that as a green light to say racist things to Chris Rock
right.
if your peers.
No,
you know
please don't. It has to. The timing has to be perfect. I was at this bar in North Carolina. And this is a few years ago, probably 6 years ago, and this guy's like, because I guess he knew I was a stand-up comic. And he's like, man, I've been wanting to tell you a joke. I've been wanting to tell you a joke.
Oh, no.
And in the back of my mind, I'm like, please don't be a racist joke. Please. Because I can't deal with that. Coming from who I thought was probably a good old boy with, that kind of wink, which I can't stand, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to tell you a joke. I'm like, okay, what is it? And he's like, so these 3 faggots.
No.
So he tells me the joke.
Oh, no.
All right, I'm going to tell you the joke.
I thought for sure you were about to tell like the most palatable, funny joke,
No,
and it just
this
right
is the
there.
joke he tells me. I'm telling you how he told me.
Yes, please.
These 3 fags, one of their faggot friends had died. They're trying to figure out what to do with the faggot's ashes.
That's the setup.
First faggot's like, man, we ought to take his ashes up to the mountains because that faggot loved the mountain. Second faggot's like, no, man, let's take his ashes to the ocean and spread them out in the ocean because that faggot loved the beach. And the third faggot's like, no, man, let's put his ashes in a vat of chili and let him tear our ass up one more time.
Oh, my God. And someone knocked on the door during the punchline.
Thank you.
We started new?
So,
He tells me that joke.
Oh, God.
And I'm ashamed to say, I laughed really, really hard. I thought it was a great punchline, and I was like, God, I shouldn't laugh at that, but I don't know. I did.
So I'm with. I mean, like, if I'm being honest, the novelty of that joke, the mechanics of it, caught me by surprise. So I understand.
Yeah.
I understand the laughter.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. It's weird because we're so inundated with, and I think political correctness, and it's kind of shifted in a weird way. I think political correctness years ago really stomped on liberalism in this country in a weird way because we were trying to figure out how to communicate with each other in a better way that was more respectful. And I think I'm talking about the early mid '90s. I think it got a little bit out of hand with being, getting the right words. It seemed almost kind of dishonest. Obviously, you want to respect everybody, and everybody needs to be respected. But it seemed ingenuine at the time. I think to me. I mean, I'm from the South, and I'll just be honest with you. I've visited many cities. I've lived in Santa Monica. I've been to Boston. I've been to many of these liberal towns. There's no more separation of black and white than those cities.
Sure.
New York's different because New York, you are forced to mingle with people. You rub shoulders. You're on the subway. In the South, black and white people, they are always hanging out and mingling, and you don't see that as much.
Oh, I thought for sure you were about to say are divided by a street. No.
Obviously, there is that.
Sure.
But at work, I'm from a small. It is a real more integrated.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, because of socioeconomic backgrounds of whites and blacks, sometimes can be very similar. And these liberal cities, they what town is more segregated than Boston? I don't know if there is one.
Right.
And it's an interesting.
But they
thing.
vote differently.
But they vote. Yeah,
they
It's
vote differently. But
yeah.
With you, if you don't mind, the hardest you've ever left.
Speaking of church, was it the church service on Christmas Eve?
Oh, church laughter is the best.
Best because you're not supposed to do it.
You're not supposed to do it.
And my dad, we were singing Silent Night, and we were lighting candles at the same time. But my dad had a really bad wick. His wick was implanted into the wax, so he couldn't get his candle lit. Everybody, 500 people in the church have their candle lit. They're singing Silent Night. My dad's oblivious. I'm trying to light his candle. I'm like, Dad, we're on the third, stanza here. Get this thing lit. I mean, it's like
not the Christmas spirit.
3 minutes of him trying to get this embedded waxed wick into lit, and so the song's ending. He finally gets it lit. He brings it to the front of his face, and as soon as he brings it to the front of his face, everybody blows out their candle. It was the greatest time thing I've ever witnessed. And I know it doesn't seem that great if you listen to that, but I had this feeling in my gut that I have never laughed. I screamed in church. I went, and I had to leave. And I'm laughing at my father, which he doesn't. He's not too crazy about.
Double
it's in
taboo,
church.
Double taboo.
It's it's underneath the silent night going on. It's very. Boy, was that beautiful!
It was the lifetiming. It was finally
the
got
time was the timing of it was perfect, absolutely perfect. Gorgeous. That's the hardest I've ever laughed. And I was by myself. I had nobody to share it with.
Yes,
that's the other thing, because you always do want someone to
bounce it off,
to share it. But there have been times where I'm like, thank God. I have this friend Edwin who is really bad at laughing at funerals, and like he and I are really bad. And I was in North Carolina, and this guy came out to talk to me about doing something on my land, and we're looking out, and the land is about 7 in the morning. He goes, "Yeah, my uncle, she lived right over there." And I'm like, okay, he just made a mistake. 20 seconds later, he goes, "And my aunt, he lived right over there." I was like, God, thank God Edwin's not here. I mean, we would be giggling like 12-year-olds.
He had them flipped?
I can't explain that. Both of them.
God.
Reversed.
That's so fantastic.
Yeah.
That's when someone, your passenger, you're driving and they lean over and honk your horn. Very violating. Very violating. You do that for other people?
My brother and I used to do these terrible things. Like, somebody's walking in front of your car and stuff. Like, I would beep the horn so it looked like he was being rude to the old lady. You know what I mean? It's terrible. This is when we were kids. When I was 38.
Okay, well, let's get you out of here. This actually ended with laughing because we were talking about the therapy of laughing. And to answer your question, that was kind of laughing. They've proven that if you just do fake laughing, that turns into genuine laugh. It is really good for you.
Yeah. Well, you see these stories from time to time. It always usually is from India.
Yeah.
They have these group laughing things that they...
laughter yoga.
Yeah. Is that what it is?
Called,
okay.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that always seems bizarre to get together and just kind of like, okay, let's get some laughing going.
Here's what's bizarre is we kind of know in our lizard brain that it would work, and that it offends us. It's like red eye reminds us of our reptilian sort of... there's something off-putting about red eye in phones. Also, it's off-putting when you go, oh, we are just idiots, that if I went...
Yeah, it works.
It worked for both of us.
Yeah, it worked.
Mine
that was a really good one.
A real one.
That was really good.